Okay. Now, before I discuss something, please, for me, I have a favor of you all. Before I start this little small discussion, which I'm hoping to have with you guys, please do not bash anyone. Please try to be respectful. Try. This is not to This is not to bash anyone. This is literally to point something out. This is literally for just me, you know, casually using my freedom of speech and casually saying my point of view. You don't have to agree with me. We can agree to disagree. Okay. Now let's get started, shall we? We're about to talk about characters. Yes, we're about to talk about characters. Now, some can agree with me that this is a touchy topic because people are rather sensitive when it comes to the husbandos and waifus. And this could be a rather needed topic. People have been wanting to talk about this. Well, I'm just going to give you my stance on it, okay? So, try not to, be the keyboard warrior that you are and be toxic because we're literally just having a discussion, okay? I'm giving you my point of view and you can either add on, we can agree to disagree, and so forth, okay? No need to be toxic, alright? No need to act like you don't have no home training and be toxic. With that out of the way, let's begin. So, about characters. So, we have currently 19 characters, right? And I've noticed as I played these characters I've literally sat down and leveled all these characters to the max level. Yeah. I know, we all know by now that my main is bi. I main bi. Now, we can talk about the player base and the community. Sit down, grab some snacks, and get comfortable. Yeah, we're actually about to talk about this too, because I've noticed that this is also quite the problem. I don't know how the hell. Excuse me while I move stuff out the way while I put my keyboard down. Yes, I'm doing this. I'm going to do the same thing as you. I'm going to put my keyboard down while we discuss. I'm going to sit up while we talk. Okay. Great. Okay. So, as you all know, I main bi. I'm literally talking to you guys, recording this video on my bi, because I main bi. Right. I'm gonna give Bio's example. Now, for those who like to snoop my channel and look at my content, you notice that I mostly play bi. Every now and then, you'll catch me playing a Seha or another character if I'm trying to demonstrate something, or if I'm just, doing it just for shits and giggles, right? Now, we could talk about DPS first. Let's talk about damage first. One thing that I do not like to do, one thing about me, I do not like to call characters weak. I don't like to call characters weak. And here is why. Now, if you guys think about high DPS, you like to think about Seha, Herpy, Jay, Bai, Yunha, Mirai, Lucy, Chosu. I probably said Chosu already. And Violet. Why do we think of these characters? It's because of how they are. It's because of how they are as a character. Their main gist, the main grasp, what you genuinely grasp from these characters. So, let's use Seha for example. Seha, the main protagonist, the Kirito, the memeiest Kirito, Ren Okumura now, because he's literally the son of, because thanks to the lore, He's literally the son of a devil. Yes, he's not Jesus-kun. He's Ren Okumura-kun. He's literally the son of the devil. No, seriously. Jitsuseo literally fucked the devil and birthed the Seha. So, Ren Okumura-kun, if you will. Y'all notice how he does a lot of damage, and he's really good at bursting. One of the main things about Seha, or that's widely known about Seha, is that he does a lot of damage. He's really good at DPSing. In fact, he's more of a DPS than Bai is. How I know this is because, well, I, as a Bai, struggle to keep up with Sehas because Sehas are very, very good at bursting. Possibly because they have true damage, but because of how their skill set is and their skill arsenal is. Whereby, she can't burst for shit. She don't really have a burst, but we have burst combos. Seha probably has a burst combo, but he mostly has burst skills. Bai isn't like that. Bai works differently. She's built different. So her damage comes from itty bitty little pieces. These skills right here, if you just saw me swap from B slot to A slot, look at all these skills right here. These skills right here are multi-hits. The gist behind freeze is hit counts. Hit counts. So most of these skills are multi-hits. You notice that while I'm playing Bai, I do continuous damage. That's because her skills, all her skills really, not all her skills, most of her skills really are just cut into itty bitty little pieces. Stuff like that. So if we were to compare who does the better burst, it would definitely 100% be Seha. I'm sorry for stuttering. Kinda awkward. Socially awkward. Bear with me. Harpy, right? So, Harpy, what I genuinely know about Harpy, I could be wrong, what I genuinely know about Harpy is that EX Winsting is her little, it's one of her big damaging skills. But I also know, and I've also watched some Harpy mains. One good Harpy main that I know, you shouldn't go off of one Harpy main, but what I've seen from Harpies in general is that, they're really good at ganking. And kind of doing continuous damage as well. But I do know that they do a lot more DPS than Bai does. So that puts Harpy above Bai, surprisingly. Surprisingly, yes. That puts Harpy above Bai, surprisingly. Violet even. Violet does more damage than Bai even. How do I explain Violet without sounding so much like a clown? I know Exceed. Trying to find the right words. Give me a second. Bear with me now. I know some of y'all get going laughing, but bear with me. I just hope y'all get the point that I'm trying to make. But bear with me. I'm trying to find the words. Give me a second. I know that she has a seed, and then her skill set is a bit different than others, and then she's more skill orientated as well, even though some people can lazily play her. Some people can lazily play her and do more damage than Bai, but I've ran into at least 2 or 3 Violets who literally play her brain dead. And you get the point I'm trying to make, okay? So the point no you don't. You don't get the point I'm trying to make. Okay, the point I'm trying to make is that every character plays a role. There are going to be some characters that do more DPS than others. There are going to be some characters that are going to be weaker than others. And that's where they have these special systems for characters. So special individual character systems. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right. This is where, oh god. Okay, y'all probably lost right now. Okay. Y'all know how everybody called Time weak, right? Or how everybody said that Soma's weak, even though they weren't weak at all. Most of the reason why they call Tyne and Soma weak is because people don't really know how to play her, and people don't read skills, right? Well, to be truthful, Tyne and Soma are weaker than characters like the Raditz characters Seha and Harpy and Violet and Bai even, right? But what they make up for, so they make up for it by being the best support people, including Luna. Luna especially. Luna, Soma, and Tyne make up for it by being very good support units. They have buffs and everything that can help people, boost up their stats even more during raids and sectors. Hopefully you guys are following along and not so entirely confused while I'm explaining this. Then you have people like Tina. People like Tina. Somebody can also throw in some examples with me. People like Tina, like I said, Bai. People like Selby. And, these characters, they do DPS. They're decent, but they make up for it with multi-hits. So they're not as strong as Seha and the Raditz characters, the usual high DPS people, but they make up for it with their special gist, the special gist, and their special things that are unique to them, like how do I say it? But I do kind of get the point I'm trying to make, right? So because I usually know the role, because I somewhat figure out the roles for every character. That's the reason why I don't really follow tier lists. This is the reason why I want to say, stop making tier lists. Like, just stop making tier lists and just enjoy the character for the character. The characters are not weak at all. I'm going to tell you that. The characters are not weak at all. They never were weak. Even before this balance patch that we currently have, the characters were never weak to begin with. The only thing that really matters is how you play the character, what you know about the character. One thing that I will say is that the people who really shine with their characters is because they really understand the character, the role they play, and what they can and can't do, what's possible. They experiment. They do research. These are the people that are usually the pioneers for every character. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't know how to play Harpy if it weren't for don't call names. If it weren't for a certain person for Harpy, people wouldn't really know how to play Harpy. I wouldn't have known how to play Bai if it weren't for somebody who actually sat down and tried to do the research. This same person did research for every fucking character. This man was literally a walking Wikipedia before I was even thought of. Not like that. I mean, like, when I came to Closers, there was already someone who's a walking Wikipedia, and people often took his word because he had so much knowledge of characters. How did he make the characters that he played look good? It's because he had knowledge. It's because he sat down and did the research and went through the struggle of figuring shit out. Not many people do that. Many people like to go to guides so they can figure it out for them. Very few people like to self-teach themselves. Those people are the ones who are usually the ones who strive. And those who seek the knowledge are the ones that usually strive as well. That's how they know what to do. My point on that is the characters that we currently have, or at least from my knowledge, from my current knowledge in this video, I know that there's not many people for Yuri. I know one person that can play Yuri very well, but he quit. Not much knowledge. I mean, there is knowledge on Nata, but there are people who play Nata very different from others. So, yeah, there are not much people on Harpy. Not Harpy. We have someone for Harpy. There's not many people on Levia. I'm going to be completely honest with you. There is still not one person who is good at Levia now. There was a person who was good at Levia who taught me, but he quit. And since then, there haven't been a good Levia. I'm sorry that I made a lot of y'all upset just now, but I'm just going to state the honest truth. There is not a good Levia. We don't have a good Levia. We had a Tina, but they quit. We have a Violet, but they're questionable. We have a Wolfgang, but he don't play. Luna can be up for debate. There's a soma, but that soma gets overlooked. I'm literally the person for buy. I'm literally the person for buy now. Everybody literally stalks my channel for buy. There's someone for Seth. There's someone for Seth, but they're quiet. There are people for Chosu, but they're quiet. There's someone for Mirai, but they're quiet. There was someone for Yunha, but he quit, and possibly for good. There's someone for Lucy, but they're quiet. Almost every character has someone. It's just a matter of whether or not you want to go through the process of actually learning from them. And if you want to do research yourself. So, my point that I'm trying, the point I'm trying to make is not every character is weak. In fact, none of the characters are weak at all. It just matters of where some characters are more skill orientated or more skill based compared to other characters. You can play every character brain dead. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with just playing a character casually for fun. I'm not saying that it's required for you to be slow down, put your keyboard down, stop typing. Please stop typing. I'm not trying to say that you need to be skilled. You need to really know how to play a character or be a tryhard to, know that the character is not weak. It's just that, none of the characters were weak at all to even begin with. Yeah, none of the characters were weak at all to even begin with. It's just that you have to know how to play your character. And those who know how to play the character, they're more rewarded. Well, despite the fact that we have whales. Minus the fact that we have whales. Yes. Disregard the fact that we have whales. We have literal whales playing. What the fuck is going on? Oh. Disregard the fact that we have whales. But your characters that you play are actually not that weak. So please don't feel bad that you can't do more DPS than other people. I mean, if you're good at your character, you're good at your character. If you're not, you should work on that. If you want to. I'm not saying you have to be a tryhard like I am when it comes to characters. I'm not saying you have to be a tryhard like me. That sounded clownish, but I mean, I'm trying to be fair, but I'm not saying you have to be a tryhard like me, like how I'm really devoted to buy. So, like how I'm very devoted to buy to the point where I literally sat down and bothered to try to actually learn to do rotations and stuff. I'm just saying that the characters are not weak at all. It's just some characters take more effort to learn and do more DPS, and then some characters don't take that much effort. I'll share some experience with you. So, a long time ago, like any person who likes playing the game and everything, I used to suck at DPS. I used to have the hardest time clearing raids and stuff. Once I picked up a teacher or found a teacher, I started to get better and better. I had to go through the process of learning rotations. At the time, my character, yes, I'm talking about the same character that I'm recording this video on, my Bai. Yes, Bai was really hard. Bai was really hard to do. Well, Bai was really hard to make shine. Not like that. No, that's up. Back that up. I had a hard time making Bai shine on my end. The reason why was because I was newer, and I was getting used to the game and stuff. So I was getting used to mechanics. The one thing that I needed to learn at first was mechanics. I was coming back to the game, and I didn't know much about mechanics. I wasn't really good at dodging. I wasn't using all my skills, right? And so, in order to get better and better and become the DPS that I am now, I had to go through the process and the struggle of, first of all, figuring out rotations, taking notes. Yes, I literally took notes. I still have my notes in a private server on my Discord. I literally have notes. That's how I actually made the buy guide. I had to learn the process. I had to go through the process and the struggle and the pain and headaches of rotations. one of my biggest things that I tend to fuck up on is rotations. Then I had to learn mechanics. I fuck up on mechanics from time to time. That's actually why I have shit war game scores. I still struggle with mechanics to this day. Surprisingly, that's why I have shit war game scores. I'm well aware that I'm bad at war games. I suck at mechanics, but I still try. I still practice. That's why I still practice and I still try to refine and stuff. Because I still struggle with rotations, adapting rotations to mechanics, and then mechanics itself. See what I'm talking about? But yeah, I had to go to the progress of figuring out mechanics, figuring out rotations, figuring out how to apply the rotations, and so forth. It was a struggle, and actually, to be real, sometimes it even strained my fingers. If y'all ever ask, well, did it ever strain your fingers when you tried to, do rotations and stuff? Yes, it did. But, I mean, I didn't mind it because I wanted to get better and I really wanted to improve. So, that's why I went through the struggle. And, well, a lot of y'all wouldn't really figure out the rotations if I never said anything. Because Kato wasn't really going to say anything. My teacher wasn't really going to say anything. And then a lot of them wasn't really going to say anything because y'all act like y'all are, but y'all act like y'all clowns and shit. So, well, here we are. Where I'm going with this. It took me a lot of effort to even be able to do some of this DPS and that I do on by. You don't have to play the way I do. There are people that play worse than me actually, but they can actually score higher and stuff like that more than I can. I'm just saying that the point I'm trying to make is that some characters are more skill oriented than others. Some people can actually agree with me that they actually went through the struggle of trying to get rotations right and whatever, just to keep up or just to do what they can do with their characters and stuff like that. So some people work harder than others, and vice versa. Everyone in this world is different when it comes to characters, especially when it comes to ideologies and points of views. Don't worry, I haven't forgot. That's why we're having this discussion, okay? That's why we're having this discussion. I haven't forgot. But, anyways, like I was saying, this is why I don't call any character weak. In fact, that I kind of like every character for their skill set. Surprisingly, I kind of like every character for their skill set. I like the unique thing that each and every character has. Like, going from their passives to their gist and how to do the DPS. And I also respect the people who actually set. I also have a high respect for people. I have respect for people who. I will say this though. I have respect for people who actually sat down and tried to learn their characters and are really good at their characters. Some people, I just don't like their attitude. But, yes, I'm well aware that some characters are more skill-based than others, and some characters, you don't really have to try hard to really do stuff with them, because, not made it easier for them. I have a feeling you guys are lost. You guys are probably lost on what I'm trying to say, aren't you? Okay. You want me to try to back it up a little bit for you guys? I'll try to back it up. Okay. Let me try to back it up for you guys, because you guys are probably confused on what I'm trying to say. Stop calling every character weak. Stop calling characters weak. Every character on this game is not weak. Every character has a role to play, especially when it comes to raid. Every character plays a role. Some characters are DPS support. Some characters are support that has some DPS on them. Some characters are not burst characters like Seha, but they make up for it with multi-hits. Some characters are in between. Some characters are, if I were to literally take this another way, We have characters. We have characters who are swordsmen or knights. We have characters who are assassins. We have characters who are magicians or mages. We have characters who are supports or DPS supports. We have characters who are marksmen or not necessarily marksmen, gunners, you name it. We have characters who are fighters and they do the high DPS, like more the combat and stuff like that. And we have characters that are like in between, have more than one role. Every character in this game plays a role. It's whether or not you want to acknowledge that character for that role, if to understand what I'm trying to say. But what I really want to say, the point that I really want to get across is, please stop calling characters weak. They're not weak. None of these characters are weak. Some of these characters require more skill and more effort to play in order to, at least somewhat catch up to the characters that are made for high bursting. Hell, some of these characters that have high bursting or high DPS are squishy as fuck. Just saying. And these are some other MMORPGs too. So every character plays a role. And that's why that's one of the main reasons why I don't like and I hate when people make tier lists. Because y'all kind of divide. I hate when people make tier lists because when y'all do that, y'all really do devalue the characters. Like, y'all really make people overlook characters that are actually not weak. Like, for example, how there was a tier list that I saw. There's a tier list that I witnessed, and I knew that it was going to cause trouble. I knew what the tier list was for, but I also knew that this tier list was going to cause trouble, especially for the mains. So they put Jay, Soma on like C tier. I knew that Jay and Soma were not C tier because I knew some people who could actually play them. Those same characters that they put C tier are now somewhat. Well, Soma's way stronger and faster than she was before. Soma even. People thought that Soma was weak or Soma was unplayable because she was slow, when in reality she actually was strong, and it's just that people didn't want to go through the time and patience of actually putting up with her skill arsenal and trying to make things work. People prefer to play characters that are faster and can do more DPS. Which will bring us to the Raditz characters because they are honestly kind of unfair. Then you had Jay, who actually was strong even before. Jay actually was strong even before the buffs that he got. It's just that people need to know how to play him. He was, he took more effort and more skill to actually play. Now he doesn't really take that much effort. Right now at the moment, you don't really have to have much effort to kind of do damage with him. But if you went through the effort and the struggle to learn him and play him very well, you will actually be rewarded. You'll be one of the top DPSs. Then you have people like Tyne. You have Tyne. Currently at this moment, Tyne is one of the strongest characters on closers. He was already strong before. You just need to know his mechanics. He's stronger now because of the buffs that he got. So now people look at him and want to run to him. And this is where we call meta or bandwagoning. This is what we call meta characters and bandwagoning. That's another thing that I don't like. I don't like tier lists, and I hate when people bandwagon a character after bashing them and calling them weak. Stop bashing and calling characters weak. I know it will never stop, but for those who are listening, start telling people to stop bashing characters and call them weak. Shit like this is why. They were laughing at Tyne, laughing at Jay, calling them a joke, calling them weak, saying they were unplayable, saying they would rather play something else. But now when they got their buffs, they're all running to them. You look like hypocrites. Stop. I'm not saying this out of anger. I'm saying this because I've noticed it so many times. Y'all call characters weak and everything, but the minute they get a buff, y'all the same people, y'all who are the same people who be calling people weak and bashing them and making memes about them. Y'all own that character playing them. Y'all look like clowns and hypocrites. You got to stop. Please. Stop it. Get some help. And Nata, right? Some people even ran to Nata after he started getting their buffs. Which I could understand some people, because some people feel like, he can't do damage just like Seha do. So I'll just go run the Seha for now. Man, I can't do anything with Nata now. Guys, Nata was never weak to begin with. I actually know a KR Nata that plays him really well. The man was a known speedrunner, actually. The man on KR was actually a known speedrunner. And people often look at his videos for when it comes to Nata. Some of them can't copy his rotations and his playstyle, but they know and respect him for being a very good Nata. But I did know that, well, me personally, I knew that Nata was never weak to begin with. You just need to know how to play him. And then he's not weak in PvP either. People usually use Nata as a PvP main. I'm talking about character. And Selby is not weak either. Selby just doesn't have DPS. Well, she has DPS, but her DPS is... We're working on it. I may work on it. Keep your hopes up. No need to have less faith in Selby. Selby is actually not weak either. It's just that she's just not built like I said. She's not built like Seha or Harpy or the Raditz characters or Bai. Bai is strong, but she's not as strong as, Seha. Seha was never weak to begin with. Seha and, the Raditz characters. And if you want my honest hot take on the Raditz characters, I'm talking about Chosu, Mirai, Yunhai, and Lucy. If you want my honest hot take on the Raditz characters, they made them stupidly opt just to bring people back to the game and play them so they can make more profit. I mean, a lot of us kind of already know this, but for those who are newer and can't really figure out what Natic is thinking from time to time, I feel like that's the main reason why they made Chosu, Mirai, Yunhai, and Lucy so stupidly op and buffed them even more. Chosu got nerfed before he got Task Force because he was too damn strong and people were literally breaking stuff. People are still breaking stuff with him now, but I feel like the main reason why they even created Raditz to begin with was because they wanted something new, and not only that, because they wanted to bring people back to the game. I feel like Natic knows that people will come back and play a character if the character is stupidly op or got a buff or stupidly broken. And it mainly attracts the people who are meta chasers. We'll call them meta chasers for now. Meta chasers and people who are bandwagoners. Bandwagoning as in, going along with everyone else when it comes to trends or topics or things that are hip or new or fresh, per se. I probably said it different than the definition or similar, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But, people like Wolfgang. Let's talk about Wolfgang real quick. Wolfgang is actually strong. It's just that, Wolfgang is strong. It's just that people overlook Wolfgang because he doesn't have true damage. But even though he doesn't have true damage, he's still strong. He's just not strong. He's not as strong as other characters, but he's still strong. He's strong in his own way. And he's fun to play. I mean, I have a Wolfgang of my own, so... But, yes, Luna even. I mean, people thought that Luna was weak and people didn't like playing Luna. But as soon as she got her buff, you started seeing more people play Luna now. Soma is still somewhat getting overlooked. People are still thinking that Soma is slow when they made Soma faster so it's more easier. People were struggling to play Soma because people believe that Soma was so slow and everything. But to make up for her being slow, Soma actually had damage. It's just that people didn't read the skills to know that. This is why I get on people about not reading skills or not trying to learn the character. Because they overlook characters and what they can actually do. Each and every one of these characters have a special gist to them. Something special. Something that makes them unique from other characters. Some characters are similar, but they're still different. That's the thing that everyone overlooks. None of these characters are the same. None of these characters are the same character. I'm going to say this slow and louder. None of these characters are the same character. They can be similar, but they are different characters. They may have similar mechanics to make it more familiar to learn them, but they're still different characters. Every character on this game has a role. That's the thing that I want people to know. None of these characters at all are weak. Some characters actually have things or mechanics or character systems that can make up for not having the DPS that well other characters have or you guys are used to. Like, stop thinking about TCP. Stop thinking. Yes. Get TCP out of your mind. Please. For the love of God. Get TCP out of your mind. Get gear out of your mind. Just look at the character. Sit there and look at the character. Stop thinking about total combat power. It does not matter. Stop thinking about gear and just look at the character. Sit down, read the skills if you have to. Sit down and look at the character itself. What do you think that character is for? The role. And I bet you 90% of y'all are going to either say something stupid or don't actually know what the character is actually for. I bet y'all don't even know what your character can do or the role they actually play when it comes to raids and stuff. Who the fuck is this? Get out. Yes, that's the point that I'm trying to make. Thank you, whoever stayed this far, but that's the point that I'm trying to make. And that's why some of y'all look like clowns playing your characters. Or playing the game in general. No one really wants to learn things anymore. They just want to play the game and shoot stuff, whatever. That's okay. It's okay if that's what you want to do. But stop bashing characters. Really stop bashing characters. I understand that y'all don't like characters for the player base. I understand y'all don't like characters because of what Nike is doing to some of the characters. I understand. Trust me. I'm not really fond of the Legia player base because of the shit that they say and do. I'm not really fond of some of the player bases or some of the communities because of how they treat others in the community as a whole. I'm not really fond of the bi community because of how they treated me in the past. To be real with you, some of the people who are in the bi community I'm not really cool with because of how they treated me in the past, and I just want to learn my character and play my character. I'm not fond of some characters because of the player base of people from the player base of and how they treated me. And Levia was one of them because of how I was treated in the past by most Levias. And how they gave me headaches, unneeded headaches, and stressed me out. I understand that. Trust me, I can sympathize with you. I can understand that. For a while, I didn't like Tina's. And I didn't really like Soma's because of somebody who stressed me out and caused me problems and issues. I wasn't really a fan of Violet and Harpy because of some people that stressed me out for several months because of, their ideologies and how they treat people and how they try to shove shit down people's throat and stuff. I understand that. I can relate with you. But despite said people, the characters themselves are special and unique in their own way. Y'all might not like how the characters' skills are and everything because you can probably agree with me that some of these character skills are broken and everything. But at least now you know that every character has a unique feature or something unique to them that makes them different from every other character. Similar but different. Now that I said my piece, and I have a feeling that after I said all this, someone's going to say something stupid or toxic or memeous just to rile up other people. And I want to ask you, can you please take that shit and shove it up your ass? Take it, shove up your ass, and don't type it. Don't. Just don't. Shut your mouth. Keep it to yourself. But yes, this is why I don't call people, this is exactly why I don't call people weak. This is why I don't call characters weak. This is why I don't listen or I don't really believe in tier lists. This is why I believe that the tier lists are actually useless. Why would you even have, one thing that I will agree on a late, well, not a late friend, he wasn't really a friend to begin with. One thing that I will agree with that person is, why would you make a tier list for MMORPG? Closes is an MMORPG. Why would you make a tier list for a game that nerfs and buffs characters? I also agree with him that I would make a tier list for a game for games like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that, because those are like legit fighting games. This one's a fighting game, but you know. But I do agree with them. I do agree with him that tier lists are actually useless when it comes to games like this. Like games like Elsword even. Games like Elsword and, you know, this game. I actually agree with him that tier lists are actually stupid and completely useless. They shouldn't really have been thought of or even made. And I knew that, and the people that I know that made tier lists, I knew that they were going to cause issues with this. And they were going to make shit worse. And they did. They honestly did. These people who made 2 tier lists that I hope that they make another one. Please don't make another one. And they showed it to people, and they showed the people even, and people started to believe that. And then people started to devalue or overlook characters. I knew that this was going to cause issues and make shit worse. I know it's for fun and you're free to make one, but I knew they were going to make shit worse. I want to kind of encourage you guys to not really pay attention to tier lists and just play the character that you love. At the end of the day, just play the character that you love, whether they're quotation mark weak or not. Just play the character that you love. Stop bashing other characters and call them weak. Just play the character that you love. I mean, I don't really like Levia mains or the Levia player base, but I do acknowledge the fact that Levia is a good DPS. It's just that we need to find someone who actually wants to go through the trials and tribulations of reading the skills, learning it, and then figuring out the general rotations and stuff like that. I acknowledge that Harpy as a character is strong. Of course I do that. I mean, I admire the fact that Harpy does a lot of DPS and everything. I respect the people who went through the trials and tribulations of figuring out Harpy rotations and everything, but it doesn't excuse the fact that sometimes their attitude and the way they present themselves is rude and disrespectful from time to time and toxic. I acknowledge that Violet is a strong character, a very strong character. It looks like a fun character to play, just not my forte. But and I respect the people who went through the trials and tribulations to figure out Violet's rotations. It's just that I wish that they could be a little bit more respectful and not try to shove people and not try to, flaunt their egos. I respect the Rise characters for being strong. I mean, I used to have a slight dislike for Chosu because of how a person who used to main Chosu fucked up almost everything in this community. But despite that, I know that Chosu is a very strong character, and that Chosu can do all these amazing things like skip Tiamat and stuff like that, and skip raids and break stuff even. It's just that some of the Chosu mains are not. Some of the Chosu mains act like they don't have any common sense. Some of the Mirai is strong. Mirai is amazing. Mirai is strong, and Mirai can do all this amazing damage. I respect that. But some of the people who play Mirai act like they don't have a brain. The only two people that I know that have a brain is a personal friend and another person. Yunha is amazingly strong. I had a friend that showed me just how amazing and how crazily op Yunha can be. The potential that Yunha has. Some of the other players are just stuck up and don't really have any. They act like they don't have no home training. Lucy, people thought that Lucy and KI was a flop, but I knew. I didn't even play Lucy. I didn't even pay attention to Lucy, and I knew that this character had something strong about them, something stupidly op about them. I just wanted to know what it was. And when I'm seeing the scores now, literally look at the working scores. Lucy is on and popping. So when I look back and I heard that people in KI said that Lucy is a flop, I'm like, flop where? I knew that Lucy was strong. You just need to figure out what makes Lucy strong. What makes Lucy so formidable. There's a reason why I said that these characters are not weak. You just need to figure out what makes them strong, what makes them unique compared to others. You just have to figure out. And at the end of the day, stop giving a fuck about tier list. Just play the character because you like the character. You don't have to always go for the character that's supposedly operating. You can play whatever you like. Play your ideal playstyle. Play because you want to play. And just stop bashing characters. Stop bashing characters. Stop calling them weak. And honestly, just do you know? So, if you want to play I'll give you a example. If you want to play Selby or Tina, play Selby and Tina. Play because you like playing that character. Play because playing that character makes you happy. Not horny. Not horny. I'm looking at y'all Mirai mains. I'm looking at you Mirai and Harpy mains. Don't play the character because you're horny. Play the character because you're happy. Because you like playing the character. Because you love playing that character. Don't play it because of your sexual urges. Don't play it because it makes your dick hard. Don't play it because it makes your pussy wet. Play the character because the character makes you happy. Because you like playing that character. Because you have fun playing that character. Play the character because of that. Play the character because the character helps you enjoy closes as a game in general. Play that character because it helps you like playing closes in general. Don't play because you want to simp. You don't have to play because you want to simp and, feed your sexual urges and everything and roleplay and shit. Play the character because you like playing the character. I like playing Bai because I like playing this character. I like her skill set. Her skill set matches my ideal playstyle. Even if I know that Bai does not do DPS like Seha and Harpy, I still like playing Bai. That's why I play Bai. That's why I have 9 Bais. Because I really like playing this character. And I want to improve. I go on different Bais that have different TCPs, by the way. Because I want to go back and see if I need to work on stuff like that. I like playing Wolfgang and buying stuff for Wolfgang because I like the character's lore and stuff. Hell, play a character because you like the lore even. You can play the character because you like the lore even. The point is that you want to have fun with the game. If you want to play the character because you want to build TCP for it, that's you. Do you. If you want to play the character because you actually want to dive into knowledge and, really, really play the character, see how they work or whatever. That's cool too. I respect you for that. But please, for the love of God, stop calling characters weak. Stop following tier lists. If you stop following tier lists, stop calling characters weak, stop bashing the characters, let people play the characters, you'll realize that you'll have more fun with closes than you already do now. That's all I'm saying. And for those who made it to the end of this video, thank you. I appreciate it. Because this was something that really needed to be said and really needed to be discussed. And if you would like to have a discussion without being a toxic ass, a trolling ass, you can comment. You can comment on the video. I don't mind reading everything. Just know that I listen. Unlike these people who are blockheaded and act like they have no common sense or home training, I actually do listen. I actually do read. So, you wanted to have a discussion? You can post how you feel, whatever. I literally post this video up just in case y'all want to agree, y'all want to talk about it, y'all want to say your point of view, no matter how. I hope y'all don't try to say no stupid shit just to piss people off. Please don't. Not on this video. Please, not on this video. Every other video on the internet but this video. This video, I feel like it's important because people keep overlooking shit. Overlooking some most important shit. That's the thing about this community. They overlook the most important shit. And when they miss out on it, they're bitching and whining about shit that could have been easily solved if they just pay attention. So, you want to say your point of view? You can say your point of view on my video. Do not attack that person. If you say something toxic, I'm gonna delete it. I don't have time for y'all. I don't have time for people who want to act toxic and act stupid as fuck. This is literally here for discussion. If you want to say your point of view and say it and shout to the world, feel free to do so. Just if you want to promote your cult, do not on my video. Do not do it on my video. Okay? This is a serious video, not a play video. I'm being serious with this time. I'm not making no mimious video like I've been doing lately. This is a serious video. Okay? Okay. Well, I'm done now. Sorry to take up at least an hour of your time. But if you stay to the end, thank you. And, well, see ya.